Have you ever imagined a place where one side experiences heat capable of melting metal, while the other freezes in temperatures colder than deep space? A world where a year lasts less than 3 Earth months, and where the sun appears 3 times larger in the sky than we see it from Earth. This place exists, and it's much closer to us than many people imagine. We're talking about Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, and at the same time, one of the most mysterious worlds ever studied by humanity. For centuries, it was just a bright point difficult to observe, hidden in the Sun's glare. But with the advancement of science and space missions led by organizations like NASA, we are beginning to understand that Mercury is much more complex than we imagined. Mercury is small, rocky, and seemingly simple, but its history is violent and full of extreme events. The planet's surface seems frozen in time, covered in gigantic craters caused by asteroid impacts over billions of years. Unlike Earth, Mercury has virtually no atmosphere. This means there is no wind, no rain, no protection from solar radiation. Every impact that occurred there was forever etched in time, transforming the planet into a true fossilized record of the beginning of the solar system. Scientists believe that studying Mercury is like looking at a cosmic historical archive, showing how rocky planets formed. One of the greatest discoveries made over the last few decades was realizing that Mercury is not just a dead rock spinning in space. It has a gigantic metallic core, occupying about 85% of the planet's radius. This is extremely unusual and still intrigues researchers. Some believe that Mercury may have lost much of its crust in a gigantic collision billions of years ago, leaving only its exposed metallic core. Others believe that its proximity to the Sun directly influenced its formation, evaporating lighter materials over time.
European and Japanese space missions, such as those conducted by ESA and JAXA, have yielded new clues about the planet, revealing that Mercury possesses water ice hidden within craters that never receive sunlight. This is shocking because we are talking about the hottest planet in the solar system during the day. Even so, in regions where the sun never reaches, the cold is so extreme that water molecules can survive for billions of years. Another strange phenomenon occurs in Mercury's sky. Because of the way it rotates and orbits, the sun can appear to stop in the sky, move back, and then move forward again. For an observer on the surface, this would create a surreal spectacle, as if time were broken. Mercury rotates very slowly, taking about 59 Earth days to complete a rotation, while completing its orbit around the Sun in just 88 days. This creates extremely long days, where the heat can continuously increase to absurd levels. If a human could set foot on Mercury, they would face one of the most hostile environments possible. Without an atmosphere to dissipate heat, temperatures can range from over 430 degrees Celsius during the day to below negative 180 degrees at night. This means that any human colony would need to be built below the surface, protected from solar radiation and extreme temperature changes. Even so, its proximity to the Sun would make Mercury a strategic point for capturing solar energy, perhaps one day making the planet an energy outpost for humanity. And perhaps most fascinating is that Mercury still holds secrets. Scientists continue to study its strange magnetic field, its chemical composition, and its geological history. Each new discovery shows that even being the smallest rocky planet, Mercury may be one of the most important for understanding how planets like Earth came to be. But Mercury's story doesn't end here, because understanding this planet may be the key to something even bigger, understanding how to survive in extreme environments beyond Earth. And that's exactly what we'll see now.
Imagining humans living on Mercury seems distant, almost impossible.
But the history of humanity has always been marked by the conquest of environments that seemed completely hostile to life. Scorching deserts, frozen poles, deep oceans, and even space itself have been considered unreachable. Mercury perhaps represents the ultimate test of humanity's capacity for adaptation, a world where every second on the surface would be a struggle against the basic physics of survival. Sunlight there is not just brightness, it is pure energy, mercilessly unleashed upon a planet with virtually no natural protection. Yet, if there is one thing that defines our species, it is the insistence on venturing into the unknown. If humans are ever actually sent to Mercury, the first bases would likely not be visible from the surface. The best strategy would be to build underground cities, carved directly into the planet's rock. Below the surface, the temperature would be much more stable, and the crust itself would act as a shield against solar radiation and micrometeorite impacts. These habitats could be gigantic pressurized tunnels with artificial lighting simulating day and night cycles to maintain the psychological health of the inhabitants. Inside these structures, there could be hydroponic farms, scientific laboratories, and industrial centers powered by the most abundant energy in the solar system. Solar energy on Mercury is so intense that solar panels could generate absurd amounts of electricity. Imagine entire cities functioning solely on energy captured directly from the sun, without the need for fossil fuels or nuclear reactors. Large solar towers could rise from the surface, connected by underground cables to human colonies below. This would transform Mercury into one of the most energetically rich places humanity could occupy. Some futuristic visions even imagine gigantic networks of solar satellites around the planet, transmitting energy to other parts of the solar system. The ice found in polar craters could be the key to making a permanent human presence. This ice could be melted and separated into hydrogen and oxygen, providing potable water, breathable air, and rocket fuel. Mercury could become a strategic point for refueling spacecraft traveling to the inner solar system, functioning as a kind of natural spaceport. In the distant future, commercial space routes could depend on stations built near the Mercurian poles. But the challenges wouldn't be just physical. The psychological impact of living on Mercury would be enormous. There would be no blue skies, clouds, wind, or rain. The sky would always be black, even during the day, with the sun shining like a gigantic and menacing sphere. For many colonists, the constant feeling would be of living on the border between survival and absolute danger. The distance from Earth would also create a new emotional reality. Conversations with family members would take minutes, creating a permanent sense of isolation. At the same time, living on Mercury could represent something powerful for humanity. This would be definitive proof that we can survive even in the most extreme environments near a star. This experience could prepare future generations to colonize planets around other stars, where even more hostile conditions may exist. Mercury would, in this sense, be a living laboratory for interplanetary survival. Private companies can also play a key role in this future. Organizations like SpaceX have already demonstrated that space exploration will not be carried out solely by governments. In the future, commercial missions could help transport materials, build infrastructure, and even take skilled workers to colonies beyond Earth. Space exploration could cease to be purely scientific and become economic, opening a new era of human expansion. Another fascinating possibility is the use of Mercury as a center for space mining. The planet possesses enormous quantities of heavy metals and rare elements.
With advanced technology, it might be possible to extract these resources and transport them to space stations or other planets. This could completely change the space economy, allowing the construction of mega-projects in space without depending on Earth's resources. Perhaps the most impressive thing is that Mercury still holds mysteries. Its strange magnetic field, its unusual internal composition, and its violent history continue to be studied. Each new mission reveals details that change our understanding of how rocky planets form. Mercury may be the key to understanding not only our solar system, but also worlds around other stars. In the distant future, perhaps there will be human cities hidden beneath the Mercurian surface, illuminated by artificial light, protected from the sun, powered by the most powerful energy available in the solar system. Perhaps children born off Earth will grow up seeing Mercury not as a cosmic hell, but as home. And perhaps, looking back, humanity will realize that it was there, on the planet closest to the sun, that we took one of the boldest steps in our history. Because exploring Mercury wouldn't just be about science, it would be about proving that human curiosity is stronger than any hostile environment. It would be about showing that even in the face of a star's fire, humanity continues to advance.